Hello there, it's 4 p.m. here in the Russian capital. You're watching RT International with me, Nikki Aaron. We start with breaking news this hour. At least 8 protesters have reportedly been killed and several more wounded as police opened fire at those dissatisfied with the government over security. The anger spilled over after yet another attack on the Afghan soil. At least 90 people were killed and hundreds were injured in Kabul on Wednesday. Four police officers are said to have been injured after being hit by stones this Friday. Demonstrators were holding up photos from the scene of the explosion that rocked the city just 2 days ago. They also waved placards calling on the authorities to resign. The police opened fire as the protest turned violent. We've got footage. Ruchi Kumar is a journalist who witnessed the protest and ensuing violence, and she joins me now from Kabul along with another local journalist, Bilal Sawari. Well, thank you both for joining us on RT International. If I could start with you, Ruchi Kumar, can you describe for our viewers what you saw unfold today?
Thanks, Nikki. The protesters were gathered near the scene of the attack, the scene of the blast, and they were there. The protesters gathered there for demanding accountability and basically just protesting a series of attacks, series of violent attacks that have been taking place against people in Afghanistan. The last one was, as you know, was very violent. It was one of the worst attacks that Kabul especially has witnessed in the last 15-16 years, with the highest number of casualties. And I think it was sort of a tipping point for a lot of people in Kabul, and this protest was basically a culmination of that. And eventually, though, it turned violent, and the police did fire live rounds at the protesters. It did turn into a riot, but instead of taking riot measures, the police did fire actual bullets, and not riot prevention techniques. So, as a result, people are reporting. My sources tell me that up to 6 people have been killed.
Well, Ruchi, how threatening is the situation for the Afghan government right now? What can they do?
Here is the chief executive, Dr. Abdullah, has come out with a statement. He's asked protesters to maintain calm, and he's asked for a representative from among the protesters to negotiate further situation. So I think it's still a developing story, but I think that's where they're headed. There will be negotiations, hopefully.
Now, you saw everything unfold from outside your window, I do believe. We understand that the protesters turned violent. They were throwing stones at the police, and then the police opened fire on them. Do you think the police's actions were justified?
The thing is, I personally do not know how it started, who threw the first stone or who shot the first bullet. We have been hearing, I'm not very far from the protest, and right now, and for the whole afternoon, in fact, we've been hearing gunfire sporadically. We've been hearing chants sporadically. So the situation escalated very quickly, but who threw the first stone or who shot the first bullet is a bit unclear.
Now, the US have been present for a long time in Afghanistan, as you know. Do you think their policy towards the country is working?
I'm sorry, who has been present?
The US, the United States. Their forces have been present in Afghanistan. Do you think that their presence is working there? Their intentions?
Well, to an extent, yes. To an extent, I mean, I do as a as an outsider looking at the situation from the inside, I do feel yes. To an extent, it has been helpful, especially in terms of maintaining control over the insurgency, not really reducing it, but controlling it. In terms of, say, for instance, the bomb that was dropped on the ISIS strongholds last month. To an extent, it did damage the infrastructure that ISIS was using. So in those instances, yes. But I would say overall, if you look at the larger picture, probably it doesn't amount to much. I would feel like that question would be better answered by a local, by an Afghan who has been through a lot more and, not just witnessed it from the outside, but actually experienced the whole development over the last 16 years from within.
OK, Ruchi Kumar, journalist and writer, thank you. We do appreciate your take on this incident that you witnessed with your own eyes. But now let's go over to Bilal Sawari, who's also a local journalist, and get his take on things. Bilal, welcome to the programme. Well, Wednesday's attack, just 2 days ago, is far from being an isolated case in Afghanistan. How much has security in the country deteriorated, would you say?
Security has deteriorated in a massive way. We have seen these very sophisticated attacks, vehicles packed with explosives, both by the Islamic State as well as by the Taliban, by the Haqqani network, which is part of the Taliban. Its leader is the deputy head of operations. But the attack on Wednesday in Kabul, we are being told, was carried out with almost 2 tons of RDX, highly grade military explosives, very potent. The question that everyone is asking in Kabul in this case, why so many failures, why so many security intelligence lapses that allow for this sort of terrorist attack to take place? Afghanistan was very quick to blame Pakistan, saying that the attack was carried out by the Pakistan-based militant network, the Haqqani network, with the direct help of the Pakistani intelligence services. We also heard from the Afghan cricket board cancelling 2 friendly matches with Pakistan. So it certainly means more tensions, more mistrust between Afghanistan and Pakistan. In the last few minutes, we have heard from the president's office in Kabul saying that Afghanistan is going through a very, very painful time. And it was a time that the citizens of this country were more careful that they do not allow agitators or terrorist groups to carry out more attacks. Chief Executive Officer Abdullah has said that the killings in the incident on Wednesday both will be investigated, and that he has appealed for calm. What Afghanistan is experiencing for the last 2 years is a rapid loss of territory. I mean, the loss of soldiers, the loss of civilians is just devastating for Afghanistan. Every day, a family on its way to a wedding loses 10 members, for example, in some cases, and it becomes a funeral. When people go to funerals or just to visit their relatives, they lose family members, whether that's roadside bombs or suicide attacks, or people getting caught in the fighting in the countryside. People's fields and homes become battlefields, and they really don't have a choice when it comes to their lives.
OK, Bilal Sawari, journalist, speaking to us live from Kabul. Thank you so much for speaking to us on RT International. We'll be closely following this developing story from Kabul, and we'll be bringing you all the latest on it as soon as we get it, of course.